So I only sign up for storytelling when there's fewer than 10. And if you get tired of my Kamchatka stories, just sign up to tell your own. So I started graduate school in 1993 in anthropology, and as a young budding anthropologist seeking lots of advice. And I had decided I wanted to continue this relationship with this woman who was a Russian studies major and wanted to continue traveling to Russia. So I decided to go to Kamchatka and started asking everyone, so how do I get there, and what do I do there, and how do I study things and whatnot? And got connected to people. Igor Krupnik at the Smithsonian gave me actually some pretty good advice, which was, well, the capital there, the administrative center, Polana, must be like 20,000 people. There must be a lot of stuff going on there. You should go do that. Go do some urban anthropology. All these young guys going to Siberia, they want to go out in the tundra and herd reindeer and shoot bear and all that. You need to do the urban thing. And I thought, well, yeah, that might be something different. And then through various connections, I got a hold of a phone number of a fellow who had been in Kamchatka as a young assistant professor at Columbia at the time, David Kester, who's also given me lots of great advice. And he said, call Vika Petrasheva, and she'll help you get access with a visa and all that. And so I did that, and at first it started out really great. And unfortunately, traveling to Kamchatka has always been complicated. And so in that first trip in 1995, which was just a month after our wedding, so my wife and I are in Petropavlovsk, sleeping on Vika's floor in our sleeping bags and trying to get all the papers and documents ready so we can go up farther north where the Koryak people live. And Vika has a lot of friends on the East Coast, which is on the Bering Strait coast. Asora is this one village, and Timlat and all these. And she's like, you should really go up there. There's a lot of really great grannies. They know a lot of stuff. You know, Polana, there aren't any real Koryaks there. Go up to Asora and Timlat and whatnot. And so I took that advice, which, bless her heart, I love Vika, but that advice was not very good. So we landed in Asora, which is on the coast right there. And before we knew it, we had the border guards up our ass, because Kamchatka used to be a special zone where even Soviet citizens had to have a permit to go there, let alone live there. And so they were all pretty annoyed about all this openness and all that, and doing their best to control the foreigners running around. And in 1995, Americans running around in that part of Russia were still kind of uncommon. So uncommon that my bad Russian led one shopkeeper in particular to think I was Estonian. Estonians are notorious for their horrible Russian, because they speak a language that's not even Indo-European. And fortunately, one of my neighbors went in as I was going out, and the shopkeeper was complaining about, oh, that stupid Estonets. And she's like, what is Estonian? And no, he's American. And the next time I went in that store, I was all smiles, like, hey, what do you want? And I'm like, wow, this is different. But that was about it for good things in Asora. We had a lot of problems with trying to find a place to live, falling in with people who just seemed to want our money, and charging all kinds of exorbitant rents and whatnot. And I remember one evening in particular, Christina was just sobbing from exhaustion at the physical labor of not having running water, having to carry water literally a couple hundred yards from the pump, and also buckets out to the outhouse. No rotor-rooter necessary for that. And and I was just telling her, look, let's go on to Polana. There's a direct flight from Asora across over to Polana, and we'll go over there and see what's going on there. Hopefully we can make some friends. And it turned out that Igor's advice was kind of wrong in the sense that Polana was nothing like a city. It was barely 5,000 people, and it had 2 paved streets. But it was full of really interesting people. And within a week, we met Valentina Diedik, who has become one of our closest friends. She and her husband, Igor, to this day remain very close friends. And there I started learning Koryak. She was a Koryak language teacher. Got connected to the museum. which was kind of some mixed advice. The museum director was all excited about collaborating with me to do research around to the small villages, and we laid all these great plans that kind of got exploded when she ended up migrating to Denmark within a year. And so while that time, 2 months in Osorda was actually emotionally and financially and intellectually really bad, it turned out to work out okay. Because if you ask enough people for advice, you can usually sort out the good from the bad. Thanks.